Hey guys, my name is Galina from Thousand Lashes. So we are two sisters here that are part of this brand, and so we're here to just really give you guys as much useful information on this channel regarding lash extensions. We try to give you tips, tricks, and other information that you may find useful. So if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button so that you can see more of our videos in the future. So this post is actually going to be about the biggest mistakes that beginner lash artists can make in the first year of their journey as a lash artist. So one of the biggest mistakes is actually being really, how can I say, really unsure and having insecurity and low confidence. So this actually really comes off to your clients. So the clients feed off of that. They feel the insecurity and they get really tense and nervous. And so this makes the lash artist even more nervous. And it's kind of like a cycle that just ends up making everything worse. So what would be a really good tip to help with this? So try to psych yourself like the same way you're psyching yourself out. Try to boost your confidence before your client comes. Reassure yourself, tell yourself, no, I'm actually really good. I'm actually I've done clients and they have liked my work, so I'm actually not bad. Try to get your friends to boost your self-confidence and do their lashes so that they can actually tell you, your work is pretty decent. And then, just talk yourself, be kind to yourself. Don't tell yourself that oh, my work is awful. I'm the worst. Look at these other pictures on Instagram. They're so much better. So just really try not to engage in that negative self-talk, because it's really going to come across to your clients. They're going to feel it. So it's kind of like the fake it until you make it approach. You really need to ensure that you're kind of faking it at first and faking the self-confidence. Not faking the knowledge, but really just faking the self-confidence until you actually believe it. So now the second mistake beginner lash artists tend to make a lot, and this is totally normal, it happens to most lash artists, is to actually use too little or too much adhesive when they're applying the lash extension. So this is actually really important, because if you apply too little adhesive, the lashes will just fall off. As soon as the client brushes them out at home, they're going to lose a bunch of them, and then they're just going to flick off because there isn't enough of a bond to the natural lash of the lash extension. So it's important to not have too much adhesive as well, because then you can actually develop, your clients will develop stickies, which is when the lashes are gonna get glued together, like 2 natural or 3 natural lashes will get glued together in little clumps. And this is really uncomfortable for clients, because they're gonna wanna pull on them, they're gonna want to brush them out. Mostly it's just kind of uncomfortable and it doesn't look good. It kind of looks messy. The set will look messy and kind of dirty, and just best to avoid. So it's important when you actually swipe the lash extension, make sure that there's a little droplet of adhesive on the actual lash extension. Don't swipe the entire lash into the adhesive. Just make sure that there isn't too much or too little adhesive, because that will definitely lead you into problems with your retention. So the other possible mistake that you guys can make, or newer lash artists tend to make, is taking too long to isolate the lash. This is why I think it's really important to work with mannequins at first before you start taking your first clients, just to at least get the basics of how to isolate and doing it systematically quicker. Because if your glue is, let's say, a 2-second glue, and it's taking you 3 to 4 seconds to isolate the natural lash, by the time you have dipped the glue and you're ready to put it on, the extension, your adhesive will have already dried. So you're like, okay, well, once again, you're gonna get retention problems. So this is why it's really, really, really important to try your best and practice on the mannequin, just isolating, and placing the lash, dipping it into the glue and placing the lash. Do it for a few weeks, like an hour or two a day, and that's really, really gonna actually help you when you're gonna start doing real clients. So another possible mistake that is often seen is to not use pre-treatment and post-treatment after a set. So the pre-treatment, why is this important? You have to make sure that your client's lashes are clean, squeaky clean. So when they come and they tell you, yes, I have removed all my makeup, if you actually look through their lashes with a mirror, you're gonna notice that there's actually still some residue left, and oils, and even possibly makeup. So what this is once again gonna lead to is poor retention. So the best thing you can do is actually just wash their lashes yourself with a one-time use shampoo, or you can get them to buy the shampoo at the end of the appointment, or have a large bottle of lash shampoo and use disposable brushes and wash their lashes. That would be really, really helpful, because their lashes are gonna be perfect, squeaky clean for the application, and it's really going to improve their retention. Then the other thing that is really suggested, not everyone does it, there's some controversy about this, but priming the lashes. In our experience, we have noticed much better retention with priming lashes, sometimes up to 30 to 40%, which is definitely worth it if you think about it, because usually clients, who do they blame if they're having retention problems? The lash artist. And so then you end up having to redo their lashes, or having to give them discounts for next time. So using a primer has been, in our experience, helpful. So it's up to you if you do decide to use a primer, but we have noticed that it is very, very helpful. So now, the other really common mistake for beginner lash artists is applying the lash extension too close or too far from the eyelid. So typically the lash extension should be 0.5 to 1 millimeter from the eyelid. If it is too close, like closer than that, it's going to poke the client and it's going to be very uncomfortable. And if it is longer than that, it's just not going to look as nice. And once it grows out and the client comes for the refill, like the lashes most likely are going to need to be removed, and it's not going to be as clean of a set. So it's definitely better, it's recommended to do 0.5 to 1 millimeter from the eyelid. However, also another really important point to keep in mind is, if you're doing 0.5, do 0.5 millimeters on the entire eye. Don't do 0.5 on the outer corners, then 1 millimeters in the middle, and then 0.5 again in the inner corners, because that's just not, once you take pictures from the top, or the client looks at her lashes, once they open their eyes, it's just not going to look as natural. It's not going to look as uniform. And the most important thing to try and achieve with lash extensions is for them to really look as natural and as uniform as possible. So I hope you guys found these mistakes, tips on how to work with these mistakes useful, and hopefully from these tips you guys are able to avoid making those mistakes yourself. If you're a beginner lash artist, please let us know what is your biggest takeaway from this video. I love to hear your comments. We love to read all your comments and answer them, because it helps us to see which kind of videos we should do for you guys in the future. So let us know, and if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe to this video so that you can see more videos and content from us in the near future. Once again, thank you so much for watching.